Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for that kind introduction, Gary, and to the Prime Minister and the Government of Iceland for organising this fantastic event, the second annual Wellbeing Economy Forum. I am delighted to be here in Iceland, a country that has done so much to promote and embed the wellbeing economy approach. Scotland shares deep cultural and historical ties with Iceland, not least through the music for the Icelandic national anthem, which was composed in Scotland's capital city, Edinburgh, and was first performed at a commemorative service here in Reykjavik back in 1874. Our close connections continue in the present day through our commitment to the wellbeing economy approach and membership of WeGo, the Wellbeing Economy Governance Group. This commitment is also shared by other WeGo partners, politicians, policymakers, business leaders, academics and practitioners from across the world, many of whom are gathered here today. Coming together in forums like this one is an opportunity to exchange ideas and reminds us that we have so much to gain from working together. Through our collective endeavour, we can accelerate progress on this urgent and vitally important agenda. I'll say more about some of the practical approaches we are taking to deliver our ambitions for a fair, green and growing economy in Scotland in a moment. But I'd first like to take a few moments to outline why transitioning to a wellbeing economy is so important. The climate emergency, biodiversity loss, persistent inequality and poverty are the greatest long-term threats that Scotland and other nations across the world face. The scale and urgency of these crises coming so close together is like nothing we have ever seen before in our lifetimes. At this time of global environmental and economic instability, the need for a dynamic economy that prioritises people and planet, protects and restores nature, and serves the health and well-being of everyone now and in the future has never been clearer. Scotland's First Minister recently set out his 4 interconnected priorities for government: eradicating child poverty, growing the economy, tackling the climate emergency, and delivering sustainable public services. We know that purposeful action to confront these challenges is a vital investment in the future health, equality and prosperity of all Scotland's people. In his first major speech on the economy last month, the First Minister also set out that the goal for his government is to help people live happier and healthier lives with higher living standards, to help businesses boost profitability and build a more resilient economy that promotes the well-being of all our people. The well-being of our people is also at the heart of our national performance framework, which sets a vision for the type of nation we want to be. This year we are undertaking a review of our national outcomes, and in doing so we have heard from communities across Scotland about what matters most to them. The evidence has led to new outcomes being proposed, and in particular new outcomes on care, climate action and housing, recognising the role that they play in our collective well-being throughout our lives. We must build an economy that will enhance, rather than put at risk, the well-being of the generations to come. Young people, after all, are the ones who will have to live with the consequences of the decisions we take now. And so we owe it to them to build an economy which will both enhance their lives and safeguard their future. The wellbeing economy approach empowers us in government to implement policies and systems to deliver economic growth for a purpose. Growth that protects the planet, builds stronger communities and improves living standards, helping people live happier and healthier lives. Community wealth building is one of the practical approaches we are taking forward in Scotland to renew our economic system from the ground up. This internationally recognised economic development approach seeks to transform our local and regional economic systems to enable more local communities and people to own, have a stake in, and access and benefit from the wealth our economy generates. Under community wealth building, anchor organisations such as local councils and health boards use the economic levers available to them to support the creation of thriving local economies. This involves developing shorter, localised supply chains, which supports our net zero ambitions, investing ethically, supporting the growth of inclusive businesses, and creating employment opportunities that prioritise skills development and fair work. In Scotland, we estimate that over 2/3 of local authorities are investigating and implementing community wealth building, harnessing their spending power to strengthen the local economy. To take just one example, Mossgiel Farm in Ayrshire in the west of Scotland was supported to access public procurement opportunities. This resulted in them winning the local authority contract to supply all nurseries and primary schools in the area with their organic milk. By giving people more economic power and a genuine stake in the wealth produced, we can unleash innovation, bolster productivity and drive resilience, improving the lives of people in Scotland. Fair work is another of the practical approaches we are taking to achieve our ambitions to move towards a thriving wellbeing economy. Our vision is for Scotland to be a leading fair work nation by 2025, where fair work drives wellbeing and prosperity for individuals, businesses, organisations and society. Fundamentally, we believe that workers should be treated fairly, with dignity and respect. We also understand that fair work brings increased security, better physical health, and improved psychological well-being for workers. Last year, our support contributed to 89.9% of people in Scotland being paid at least the real living wage, an independently calculated rate based on the cost of living and is paid voluntarily by employers, helping to tackle structural inequalities. We will further encourage employers to uptake of the real living wage and continue to use our fair work policy to improve conditions for workers across Scotland and create more secure, sustainable and satisfying jobs. And we are also on track to achieve our ambition of halving the disability employment gap in Scotland by 2038, and Scotland's gender pay gap continues on a downward trend. However, we know that there is still much more to do. The Scottish Government's approach to building a dynamic, inclusive wellbeing economy is anchored in partnership. This is not something that governments can do alone. We will work closely with private and public sectors, locally, nationally and UK-wide, and we will engage directly with communities and partners in the third sector. Last year, the Scottish Government established the New Deal for Business Group, reflecting the need for a strong relationship between government and business. The group's report includes a recommendation on businesses' role in the just transition to net zero wellbeing economy, demonstrating that we want to work in partnership with businesses as we transform our economy. We also acknowledge that Scotland does not have all the answers to the difficult challenges the world faces, and that no country can address them alone. So we will also continue to take opportunities, such as this event, and our ongoing engagement through the WeGo network, to work with governments, organisations and people across the world to share our experiences, exchange ideas and forge partnerships that will drive our shared vision forward. I would like to end by thanking our Icelandic colleagues for hosting this event and welcoming us to their beautiful country. It's a fantastic and, may I say, inspiring experience to be here with such a wide-ranging group of leading thinkers and achievers in the wellbeing economy agenda. I hope we can all use the momentum from this event to raise awareness across the world of the benefits of the wellbeing economy approach, to focus on practical actions to collectively push forward this agenda and ultimately to help people live happier lives on a healthy planet. Thank you.